Claire was sipping her morning coffee in her small London flat when her phone lit up. It was her lawyer in Florida, Mr. Carter. His voice crackled through the line. "Claire, I've reviewed the documents from the title office," he said slowly. "The condo your grandmother left you, it's been sold." Claire froze, her cup hovering in midair. "Sold," she repeated. "But that place was in my name." Mr. Carter sighed. "It should have been. But someone filed a transfer with your grandmother's name on it. The sale has already gone through." Claire stared at the rain sliding down her window. "Who filed it?" she asked, though her chest already knew. "Your sister," he said. "Megan." "And Claire, the signature doesn't look right." He hesitated, then muttered under his breath. "Silly girl. She thought no one would check." Claire didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just sat back and breathed. Megan. Of course. Megan, the Polish sister who stayed in Florida, married a good man, and became everyone's favorite. Claire was the one who left for London to build a design career. The emotional one. The one their mother always told, "You should be more like your sister." But there was one person who had never made her feel small, her grandmother, Nana Rose. Nana Rose had left her that condo in Tampa on purpose. It wasn't just property. It was a soft, quiet, "I see you." And Megan had sold it like it was nothing. As the rain thudded harder on the glass, Claire's mind went back to summers on that balcony. Nana Rose would brew lavender tea and fan herself while the ceiling fan hummed. "Don't let life make you small, Claire," she'd say, tapping her wrist where she always wore that silver watch. "You take up space." That condo was where they laughed, where Nana told stories about starting over after she was widowed. When she died, she wrote a handwritten will, clear and simple, leaving the condo to Claire. No drama. No confusion. It was her way of choosing the girl who was always pushed aside. Claire had trusted everyone to honor that. She hadn't imagined the betrayal would come from inside the family. At the funeral months ago, Megan had looked like she ran the world. Cream dress, polite smile, greeting relatives, taking calls from the lawyer, arranging flowers. Claire thought, "She's being responsible. Let her handle it." Megan kept saying, "I'll take care of the paperwork. You're in London, it's fine." Their mother praised her over the phone. Megan really stepped up. "You should be proud of her." Proud. Claire had believed them. Now she could see it clearly. Megan wasn't just arranging flowers. She was rearranging inheritance. She was moving Claire's name off what was hers. Minutes after the first call, another email came in from Mr. Carter. Subject line, "Inconsistencies found." Claire's heart kicked. She called him back. "Talk to me." Papers rustled on his end. "The notary stamp doesn't match the one used for your grandmother's will," he said. "And the handwriting on the transfer looks practiced. Like someone copied your grandmother's signature more than once." Claire stared at her laptop screen. "Practiced," she repeated. He exhaled. "Your sister must have forged it. She thought you were too far away to notice." The words "silly girl" echoed in Claire's head, but now they weren't about Megan being foolish. They felt like a dare. Megan thought she was still the quiet sister abroad. She had no idea who Claire had become. Claire pulled up the old email Mr. Carter sent right after Nana Rose died, the scanned copy of the original will. She zoomed in on the delicate cursive, the soft loops, the way the R in Rose leaned slightly right. Then she opened the transfer document from the title office. This signature was tighter. The pressure was heavier. The R was too stiff. Megan always pressed too hard when she wrote, even in high school. She liked leaving marks. Claire started saving screenshots. She dug up photos of old birthday cards from Nana. Letters Nana had tucked into Christmas gifts. Every swirl became evidence. By midnight, her table was covered in printed pages and empty mugs. She sent them all to Mr. Carter with one sentence. "She thought I wouldn't notice." Just as she hit send, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. One text. "You've been asking questions." Claire stared at it, her pulse suddenly loud in her ears. She typed, "Who is this?" 3 dots appeared, then vanished. No reply. The next morning, her phone rang again, this time with a familiar name. Megan. For a full minute, Claire just looked at the screen. Then she answered. "Claire." Megan's voice was bright, sugary. "You will not believe how busy I've been. I finally sold Nana's condo. Closed last week. $320 cash. The realtor said I was a natural." Claire didn't speak. Megan kept going. I wanted to call and thank you for not making it difficult. I know legal stuff overwhelms you. I'll send you 10,000 next week, okay? For rent or whatever. Megan, Claire said quietly, that condo was mine. Silence. Then Megan laughed. Oh, come on. Nana wanted it for the family. You're off in London doing your art thing. I handled it for everyone. Claire's voice turned flat. You forged her signature. Megan's tone sharpened. Watch it, Claire. You don't know what you're saying. Mr. Carter found mismatched stamps, Claire said. And the handwriting doesn't match. You altered legal documents. There was a beat of silence. Then Megan tried to recover. You're being dramatic again. That lawyer just wants more money. Don't embarrass yourself. And she hung up. Claire stared at her phone. Then calmly, she saved the call recording. Megan had admitted enough. That evening, her mother called. Sweetheart, she said warmly, I just spoke to your sister. She said the condo is finally handled. Such a relief. Claire closed her eyes. Handled, she repeated. Yes. She's been working so hard. You should be proud of her. Claire swallowed hard. Mom, she sold something that was left to me. A long pause. Then that familiar sigh. Oh, Claire. Why do you always want to start problems? Megan stayed. Megan took care of Nana. You live far away. She knows what's best. Claire's throat tightened. What's best is not forgery. There you go with emotions again, her mother said. Please let it go. And she ended the call. Claire stared at her laptop. Let it go. That's what they had always told her. Say nothing. Be grateful. Don't make waves. But silence had never protected her. It had only protected them. So she opened a new folder and named it Truth. Into it she dropped the call recording. The signature comparisons. The original will. Screenshots of Megan bragging. Notes from Mr. Carter. If they wouldn't believe her words, they would believe proof. This wasn't just about a condo anymore. This was about years of being told she was too emotional while Megan was called responsible. 3 days later, Mr. Carter called again. His voice was brisk now. Serious. Claire, I filed a fraud report with the county recorder, he said. The judge has placed a temporary freeze on the sale proceeds. The buyer has been notified. The funds can't be moved. Claire sat up straighter. So Megan can't touch the money? Not for now, he confirmed. We'll start pulling the property logs and bank transfers. Don't talk to her directly about it anymore. Let the paper trail speak. Claire nodded, even though he couldn't see her. Good, she said. Let her feel what it's like when someone says no. By noon, her phone started ringing non-stop. Megan. Again and again. 10 missed calls. 15. Finally. Claire picked up. What the hell did you do? Megan shouted, her voice nothing like the polished tone from before. My account is frozen. Claire leaned back, calm. I didn't do anything, she said. The court did. You're insane, Megan spat. You think you can ruin me from London? I think, Claire said softly, that you stole from me. And from Nana. And I'm not staying quiet anymore. And for the first time in years, Megan didn't have a clever answer. She just breathed hard into the phone, realizing the silly girl wasn't so silly anymore. That night, Claire's mother called again, her voice tight with panic. Claire, what did you do to your sister? She's in tears. She said the bank froze her account. Claire stood by the window, watching London lights blink in the rain. They froze it because she used a fake document, Claire said calmly. She forged Nana's signature. Her mother's voice hardened. Your sister would never do that. You're letting that lawyer fill your head. Megan has always handled things for this family. Claire let out a slow breath. Mom, I have the recordings. I have the signatures. I have the will. She lied to you. There was a long silence. Then the same old line. You used to be kind, Claire. I don't know what's happened to you. The call ended. Claire stared at her phone. It wasn't that she had changed. It was that she finally refused to be the quiet one. 2 nights later, a different name lit up her phone, Daniel. Megan's husband. Claire almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Hello, she said carefully. Daniel's voice sounded tired. Claire, I think you deserve the truth, he said. I didn't know what Megan did. She told me you gave up the condo because you didn't want to deal with it from London.
Claire closed her eyes. Of course Megan had said that.
So you didn't know she forged it?
Claire asked.
No, he said immediately. But when the account got frozen, I checked the title office records.
Your name was supposed to be on that deed. She changed it.
I confronted her. She broke down and said you wouldn't notice from overseas.
His voice softened.
If this goes to court, I'll testify for you. Claire's throat tightened. For the first time in this whole mess, someone in Florida believed her.
The next morning, Mr. Carter called sounding almost energized. Good news, he said.
Daniel's statement confirms what we suspected. We've got the forged transfer, the original will, your recording, and now a witness. The buyers are willing to cooperate too. They didn't know about the forgery. If we move forward, this is almost airtight. Claire paced her living room. What happens to Megan? She asked. If we push it, she could face criminal charges, he said.
Her lawyer knows that.
Which is why, he paused, a smile in his voice. They want to settle.
Claire stopped.
Already?
Oh yes.
She's offering $150,000 if you drop the fraud case and let the sale stand.
Claire let out a low laugh.
She stole a condo worth over $300,000 and wants to pay me half to stay quiet.
That's the idea, he said.
What do you want to do?
Claire walked to her window and looked out at the grey London street.
Nana's words came back to her. Don't let life make you small. She thought about how many times her mother had said let it go, how many times Megan had talked over her, how many times she'd swallowed hurt.
Not this time.
I'll settle, Claire said slowly, but on my terms.
Mr. Carter sounded amused.
Name them.
Claire's voice was steady.
1. She writes a notarized apology admitting she falsified Nana's documents.
2.
She repays the buyers from her own account, not mine.
3.
She writes to my mother and tells her the truth.
4.
She signs that she will never contest or interfere with anything I inherit again. There was a pause on the line, then Mr. Carter chuckled.
Poetic. Brutal.
Your grandmother would approve. I'll send it to her lawyer.
By sunset, he called back.
She agreed.
Claire sat down hard.
She did. She just wants it to go away, Mr. Carter said.
Her lawyer said she's embarrassed.
The apology letter is already in the PDF. Want to read it? Minutes later, the document arrived in Claire's inbox.
Her hands trembled as she opened it.
At the top it said, I, Megan Collins, acknowledge that I knowingly submitted altered documents to transfer ownership of the property belonging to my sister, Claire Collins. The words were small, stiff, nothing like Megan's usual confidence.
Claire read it twice.
Rightness washed over her. Not joy, not revenge, just confirmation.
She forwarded it back to Mr. Carter. This is fine, she wrote.
Let's finish it.
2 weeks later, Mr. Carter called with a final update. It's official, he said.
The property is restored in your name. The buyers have been reimbursed from Megan's account.
The fraud report is closed. Funds from the original insurance payout and compensation have been released to you.
$350,000.
Claire sat very still.
$350,000.
Not stolen. Not shared. Hers. Nana's promise made real. What will you do now? He asked.
Claire looked around her flat. Her sketchbooks, her mood boards, the corner desk where she'd dreamed about starting her own studio.
She smiled.
What Nana wanted, she said. I'm going to move forward.
Claire gave notice at her job 2 weeks later.
No drama, no speech. Just a quiet resignation.
Her boss blinked. You're leaving?
You're good at this, Claire.
She smiled. I know.
That's why I'm doing it for myself now. She rented a small space in East London, just one sunny room with white walls, a big table, and space for clients to sit. She named it Rose Studio, after the grandmother who saw her when no one else did. On opening day, she wore Nana's silver watch. She ran her fingers over the engraving on the back. The world is waiting. Clients started trickling in through referrals. Branding for a bakery. A logo for a wedding stylist. Social templates for a charity. Small jobs, but hers. Every transfer that hit her account felt like a quiet, stubborn victory. A month later, a small brown package arrived from Florida. The handwriting on it was her mother's. Claire hesitated before opening it. Inside was Nana's actual silver watch, The one she always wore on the balcony, and a folded note. She would want you to have this, her mother had written. I'm sorry I didn't listen sooner. Claire sat at her desk and cried, not loud, not broken, just soft tears for years of not being believed. Her mother hadn't apologized for everything, but this was a start. Megan didn't call. Claire later heard from Daniel that Megan had sold the fancy house she bought, that the settlement hit her hard, that she'd moved back closer to their parents.
Claire didn't hate her. She just finally saw her clearly.
Sometimes, on quiet evenings, Claire would replay the whole thing in her mind. The call, the forged signature, Megan's bright fake voice, her mother's doubt, the freeze on the account, the apology letter. Justice, she realized, didn't feel like fireworks.
It felt like breathing normally again.
It felt like sitting in your own space, knowing what belongs to you has your name on it.
It felt like not shrinking. She didn't tell the story to everyone.
But when a friend once said, families do messed up things. Sometimes it's better to stay quiet, Claire shook her head. Silence only protects the person doing the wrong thing, she said. Not the person it was done to. On a bright London morning, sun spilled across her studio desk,
warming the silver watch on her wrist.
Emails from new clients blinked on her screen. Outside, the city moved, alive, waiting.
Claire looked out the window and smiled.
Nana had left her a condo, but more than that, she had left her belief.
Megan had tried to turn that into cash. Claire had turned it into a life.
She whispered, almost like a prayer, I made it, Nana. And somewhere in Florida, a notarized letter sat in a file saying that the silly girl was right all along.
The story didn't end with revenge.
It ended with Claire standing tall, owning what was hers, and finally taking up the space she was always meant to take.